I want to ask you something before we begin. And I want you to answer honestly. Not the answer that makes you look good, the real answer. If everything you had depended on one single thing, if your family was starving, if you had just found the only job available to you, the only job that could save everything, and that job required one tool, one specific tool that you could not afford to replace, and then someone stole it. And then you searched all day, through an entire city, with your young son walking beside you, watching you, trusting you, believing in you completely, and you found nothing. And then evening came, and the city went dark, and you stood on a street corner and saw, just ahead of you, the one thing that could save your family, unattended, unguarded, just sitting there. Would you take it? Think about that. Hold that question, because a film made in 1948 in post-war Italy is going to answer it for you. And the answer, I promise you, is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. Bicycle Thieves. Ladri di Biciclette, directed by Vittorio de Sica, written by Cesare Zavattini, made in 1948 in the rubble and poverty of post-war Rome. It is not just a film, it is a mirror. The story is devastatingly simple. Antonio Ricci is an unemployed man in Rome, one of millions struggling to survive in the chaos of post-war Italy. He finally gets a job, a good job, putting up posters around the city. But the job requires a bicycle. Antonio does not have one. His wife Maria, in one of cinema's most quietly heroic moments, takes their bed sheets to the pawnbroker. They get enough money to retrieve Antonio's bicycle from the pawn shop. The bicycle that was already pawned, the bicycle that was their last remaining asset. Antonio goes to work. He is happy. His son, Bruno, a small, serious, achingly loyal boy, is proud of him. Everything is going to be all right. And then within the first hour of his first day, the bicycle is stolen. And the rest of the film is one day, one father, one son, walking through Rome looking for a bicycle. That is the entire plot. There is no thriller, there is no detective, there is no dramatic twist. Just a man and his boy, walking, searching, hoping, slowly losing hope. And it is absolutely devastating. De Sica made this film using non-professional actors, real people from the streets of Rome playing versions of themselves. Antonio Ricci is played by Lamberto Maggiorani, a factory worker with no acting experience whatsoever. Bruno is played by Enzo Staiola, a boy De Sica spotted on the street and immediately knew was exactly right. And because of this, because these are not movie stars performing emotions, but real human beings living them, every single moment feels completely uncomfortably true. Watch the relationship between Antonio and Bruno. This is the real heart of the film. Bruno worships his father. He shines his shoes. He walks beside him with total pride and total faith. He is so small, and the city is so large, and his father is the only fixed point in his universe. And as the day goes on, as the search becomes more desperate, as Antonio becomes more frantic, as dignity slowly erodes under the weight of failure, watch what happens to Bruno's face. Watch the moment a child begins to see his father not as a hero, but as a man. Just a man, struggling, failing, human. That transition, that loss of innocence, is captured with such delicacy, such honesty, such heartbreaking precision that it feels almost wrong to be watching it. Like you are witnessing something too private for cinema. There is a scene where Antonio, in his desperation, grabs a suspected thief and drags him through the streets, only to be humiliated, proven wrong, surrounded by an angry crowd. And Bruno stands at the edge of that crowd watching his father being humiliated, and you see it in his eyes, the world shifting, the hero becoming human. And then the moment that everything builds toward arrives, evening, the city going dark, Antonio standing on a street corner with Bruno beside him, a bicycle, unattended, unguarded, just ahead. And you remember the question I asked you at the beginning. Would you take it? Antonio makes his choice. And in that choice, in that single desperate, terrible human moment, De Sica does something that almost no other filmmaker has ever managed. He makes you understand completely why Antonio does what he does. And he makes you feel completely the horror of it. At the same time, simultaneously. You do not judge Antonio. You cannot judge Antonio. Because you have spent 80 minutes walking beside him through Rome, and you know, in the marrow of your bones you know, that you might have done exactly the same thing. And that is the film's devastating final truth. Poverty does not just take your money. It does not just take your bicycle. It takes your dignity. It takes your identity. It takes the father you wanted to be in front of the son who needed you to be him. Bicycle Thieves won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Film in 1950. It is consistently ranked among the 5 greatest films ever made. Orson Welles called it the greatest film ever made. Full stop. And watching it today, 76 years after it was made, it feels not like a historical document, but like something happening right now, somewhere, to someone, to a father and a son walking through a city looking for the thing that was taken from them. Because poverty has not changed. Desperation has not changed. The love between a parent and a child walking through an indifferent world has not changed. And the question has not changed either. Would you have taken it? Bicycle Thieves, 1948. Vittorio de Sica, watch it. And afterwards, come back here and tell me your answer, because I genuinely want to know. I am the Wandering Cinephile, and I will see you in the next film.